I saw Extraction. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? My name is Adler. Thanks for tuning in. I'm a filmmaker and I love talking about movies, so I figured why not start a channel where I talk about movies. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. I upload new videos every Monday and Thursday so you can see more of this beautiful face. Now let's jump right into this review of Extraction. So I don't know how long Extraction has been out for. I could probably just look at the poster, but whatever. I heard a lot of people talking about this movie. I had friends sending me DMs talking about I gotta watch it. People all over Instagram saying to watch it. So I'm like,
oh, okay, maybe this is actually a really good movie.
You know, and I'm like on YouTube and I'm seeing like these one take, you gotta watch it, this is so cool. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna check it out. Basically, Extraction is Chris Hemsworth playing John Wick. Just kidding. Chris Hemsworth playing Tyler Rake. He's this guy that is hired to extract some kid that's in India because his father who's in prison. The movie is very simple. Chris Hemsworth has to take a kid out of the country, and that's pretty much it. For starters, I thought that the action in this movie was amazing. I know that it's actually really hard to direct action. Actually, I would say besides horror and comedy, action is one of the hardest things to direct. Especially, I think with this one, this must have been a nightmare because there were just so much moving parts involved with this whole entire thing. There's this one action scene where he's actually fighting Saju, and it's like just this whole wonder, and I'm not gonna lie, that whole entire sequence kind of reminded me of like a video game, like God of War. Like in God of War, they have this way of filming the action where everything is just continuous. So like Kratos will punch Baldur. Baldur will go flying back and the camera will like run with him, you know? It had like a real video game vibe to it. It was actually really cool. One of the things that I really enjoyed about the action also was the fact that it didn't seem like they were too lazy about it, because instead of focusing on like wide shots, I know usually with action you might want to do this, but this was really nice because they focused on really getting close up and personal, and there was the shaky cam, and it wasn't even done in a way where it was like you couldn't tell what was going on, you know what I mean? Like you could still see clearly what was happening, and if anything, it just made things a little bit more heightened. So the action in this movie was A1 top notch. I honestly think it's a masterclass in how you should do an action sequence, how you should be directing an action sequence. I actually have a lot of behind the scenes to watch when it comes to that. But when there's no action on the screen and, you know, it's just Chris Hemsworth and the kid, the movie is just straight up boring. I'll be honest with you, I felt like this movie had zero soul, zero passion, zero, like it just felt lifeless. It was just so predictable and basic. The character motivations to me weren't that great either. Like the characters were kind of just doing things just because like they were supposed to. The relationship that Chris Hemsworth had with Ovi, or Tyler Rake had with Ovi, was it felt very forced. Like, yeah, we get it, you know, you're dealing with your own family issues and stuff, and so now you feel like you gotta protect this kid, but I don't know, it just felt very forced. It didn't feel motivated. It didn't even feel like it was deserving. It just shouldn't have been there. And there was like this just one scene where Ovi was low-key very rude, where Rake is trying to let him go into bed, and he's just laying there and he's asking him a whole bunch of questions like, what happened to your family? Why are you like this? You are brave. You're da-da. But it's almost like, first off, you're being very rude. And the whole thing is, Tyler actually responds to the kid. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, his character is actually sitting there, and that moment just felt so forced. Like, it felt like they were trying to force the relationship. They were trying to get us to care so much about this kid and Tyler, like the relationship that they have together, when in reality it's not that deep. Like, I have a client, he told me to protect you, and that's that. Like, at the end of the day, that's almost the way that I'm pretty much looking at it. This movie does really bad when it comes to, like, even though the action is really good, it does really bad when it comes to the whole showing and not telling, because that's all this film does. When there's no action, it just tells you what's going on. Even the bad guys or the antagonist, you know, like I didn't feel like there was any real motivation behind it besides, you know, oh, I'm just gonna take these kids and I'm just gonna throw a couple of them off of the roof. Like it didn't, I didn't care. Like, it was just really hard to care. And at the end of the day, when you watch the movie, the only reason why you're really there is honestly just for the action sequence. From a writing standpoint, man, things were like very flat. Things were very predictable. And that was something that I just didn't like. It kind of gave me a very similar vibe to Bird Box, where with Bird Box, I remember when that came out, again, everyone hyped it up. Me personally, I didn't think it was all that great just because it, again, was predictable. I felt like the story was choppy, and I don't want to get into a whole rant on Bird Box, but this basically had the same exact format to it. It was Bird Box with action, you know? Another thing that kind of frustrated me about the film too is that it seemed like they were pushing the Russo brothers' names so much. Like, yes, we get it, they directed Infinity War. Yes, we get it, they directed Endgame. And it was almost to the point where I felt like, as I was watching the movie, I was kind of just like, yo, what a good position to be in, where you produce these films and now you get to leverage your name in order for you to make some money with Netflix. Because I'm pretty sure everyone that was a part of this movie got paid. That Netflix money is serious. But it was almost very annoying because it was almost like the film wouldn't have done, or I feel almost as though nobody would be talking about the film if the Russo brothers didn't have their name attached to it. And I don't want to say it gives the film an unfair advantage. Yeah, that's marketing. I guess the marketing worked. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I just feel like the film could have been so much better. The action, I'll give it that. It's really good on action. But I don't think that it's a film that should be compared to John Wick at all. John Wick was all around action. And yeah, even though the story in John Wick is kind of lacking, it's very obvious. Like, it's almost, I don't want to say they're not trying with John Wick, but at least with John Wick, you could tell there's like a real love for the whole action part of it, for the fights and the choreography. Everything is just cohesive, you know? As opposed to Extraction, the focus is, you know, we're trying to tell a story. You know, we're trying to build a world. And me personally, I think that it just falls flat on its face. The whole world building thing just does not work. I don't care for any of the characters. It does not work. If there's anything that you could take away from this video, Extraction does not work. Overall, I think you don't need to waste your 2 hours watching the film. You could honestly just go ahead, maybe go on YouTube. If you have Netflix, just fast forward to the one take scene, or fast forward to the scene where he's, you know, fighting them inside of that room and he actually kills someone with a rake. Like go fast forward into those scenes, and that's pretty much the entire movie. You don't need to watch anything else. I honestly want to know what you guys think about Extraction down in the comment section below. I know personally there were a handful of people that loved it. I don't want to poop on your parade, you know what I mean? Me personally, I wasn't really feeling it like that. I think it's a little bit overhyped, but everybody has their own opinion to it, you know what I mean? So let me know what you thought about it down below. And if you liked what you saw, go ahead, click that subscribe button. I upload every Monday and Thursday, so I would like to see you again. And yeah, if you especially like me, go ahead and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Handles down here or anywhere on the screen, and I will see you in another video. Peace.